Okay, so this is kind of for you, Hayden. So I got my server. Okay, I don't know. I can quickly go over spec and stuff, right? It's 16 core, 32 thread, so it's pretty heavy duty, and it's got a 3080 Ti in it. I've got an array of hard disks that gives me like an 84 terabyte media array. It's technically like a form of, I'd say like RAID 5 parity. So I've got like almost every third drive basically has like data for rebuilding in case you lose stuff. So it helps protect it. It's got only 64 gigs of RAM, which isn't too bad. And what I've always wanted to do, and I can't remember if I've ever talked to you about it before, but is just be able to user game casually sometimes. And Aster Multi-Seat is a program that I actually forgot about for a while. But you install it, and it almost works like it's an easy UI basically to work with. This is the UI. But it's on a hypervisor level between the operating system, where it helps control the operating system. Like it's actually in the operating system opposed to other systems that happen below. So off one install, just like one install of Windows, on your standard install of Windows, you install this program. And then you can set up multiple users. So I've got 4 video outputs and audio outputs that come with that video card. I'm only using 2 of them right now. But what we've got is basically video 1 is saying my Asus screen here, and video 2 is my second user that I have set up on my 65-inch TV. And then what happens is you can buy individual device, which is really neat. Just drag and drop stuff over. So like this mouse or like whatever, right? So say my webcam, everything is on. Okay, so that one is attached by my USB controller, but I have other devices like so my headphones. So this set of headphones, this is actually part of the Oculus Rift, but I can do it from my Bluetooth or whatever else. I can just tell it where I want the audio for it to play, what user. So I drag it over. Now it's whatever's happening on this screen and everything else. What's really neat with it is you can even do it with controllers. So for every Xbox controller that I load up, it's all off my same one Bluetooth controller, but I'll hook up. So that's the first controller to turn on. I'm going to drag it over, and it's on my TV. So it's player 1 on my TV. And I can activate a second controller, and I can run it as player 2 on this on my TV, or I can actually use that second controller and just run it on the number 1 desk system too. So you can split it out how you want. Now the other thing that I like to do too is you can choose actual USB controllers, so like plugs on your device. So everything that runs off of this and plugs in on that controller, when I drag the controller over, it's there. And anything that's on that USB and you put a hub in it, anything you plug into it just automatically ends up on that user. I do the same thing over here with this USB controller. So anything that I plug in on that one, I know goes to it, right? So like for instance this, anything I plug in here, it just automatically goes to this station. I don't really need a lot on my TV normally. I just normally game or watch something. It's this that I'm doing all my heavy stuff, so I have a lot of it dedicated out to this. But I don't know, to give you an example, so in how Aster Multi-Seat works, it just splits stuff up, your video card, your memory, everything else. If you have 16 gigs of RAM in your system and you have, I don't know, the 4 gig video cards, this is probably going to be a tough one to play games. And so you're only going to have certain games you can play, Minecraft, a few other ones, and you're not going to be able to have settings very high. But if you have 32 gigs of RAM in your computer and you had like a 6 gig video card, you could probably play decent games at like medium resolution on 2 1080p screens, which I think you're probably running 1080p screens, and have decent performance, right? You just got to remember, whatever you're running for hardware, when you split it out and try to game on 2 of them, it's going to drop your performance to about half, is kind of how it ends up splitting it up. I don't know how useful it'll be in, say, that scenario exactly, but one of the things that I like to do is just run it where this is downloads or whatever else that I have going on. And I can always just sit here and check on it, check the internet, I can watch something on it, do whatever, while having my main game going over here too, right? So I don't always necessarily have, say, two gaming scenarios going, but it is possible to do. You just gotta remember it affects, how, like whatever you have, you're gonna get about half of that playing the same game, same settings, everything else, splitting it. But it does a good job of just having it. So like it goes to half. You're not getting 1/3 of the performance and losing a bunch in like translation layer or anything that happens that way. Like however it splits out, it's pretty decent. Turn the volume down. It's like 3 in the morning here. But like I can play a racing game on here and have whatever going on, and then also play something here too. I don't always have to do that. This can be doing whatever. But I just thought you might be interested in this because you're a bit of a power user too, right? But it's simple, pretty easy to use UI, quite effective. And it looks like in your scan, you might need to buy like a cheap, like $25 mouse and keyboard set or whatever from Best Buy, but you could do this and make it work, right? So, because like one of them's always kind of your main gaming screen, and the other one's like a backup, watching something, whatever you have going on, or second user if you got a buddy over. But if you're interested, I can always show you more about it. And I think I can probably even have room on my license to add your computer to it too.